Hello everyone, this is Josh from Wrenches with another Firebird video. And now I wasn't going to make a video on this car for a little bit. I was planning to in the pipeline, as you guys know, with the Trans Am and everything like that. But I recently got a new job that requires me to drive a little bit farther, and this thing is basically the most fuel efficient car I've got, and I've been driving it for the past 2 or 3 days, and something happened on the way home today. Let me show you a clip of what I found. I have found the issue. And well, I mean, it's not really gonna hurt anything driving like that. It just sounds like crap. So what we're gonna do in this video is, number one, we're gonna fix that exhaust leak. Number two, we are gonna replace these headlight buckets. Now that I'm driving a little bit, if I have to drive at night, I wanna be able to see where I'm going. And I've got a few other things here and there. Like I finally did order the right hood struts. I might throw in the cool Trans Am taillights. It just all depends on how much I can get done in the next couple of days. Like I said, this is not a video I was planning to make. It just kind of happened that if I'm already fixing the thing, I might as well do a few other upgrades. All right, let's do the first thing, which is fix that exhaust. Hi, Coda. Now, thankfully, it didn't really happen at a super bad spot. It just, the back of this cat right here seems to have left the building. And it just left the building in such a way that there's no way I can really get an end on that to just clamp it through. I don't care enough to fix this. This thing probably is plugged up. I mean, it's a cat with 180,000 miles on it, so it's probably junk anyways. So this thing is just gonna get removed out of here. But I'm just gonna measure it. I'm gonna go get with the tools I need. I want this thing cool down a bit because I just drove this thing like 30 minutes on the interstate, so this thing is hot as hell. 2? Yeah, 2 inch. So that's 2 inch. I wonder what this one is. Probably bigger. It looks bigger. I can't see that. What am I doing? I gotta do this side. Okay, 2 inch to 2.5. I have 16 inches of it. Is that gonna work? Oh, that's gonna work beautifully. Do you feel like that all over? What? Can I help you? Can I help you? What? Back in the truck. I've got everything except for a C-clamp for this. So I'm gonna have to go run and get one of those. All right, got the clamp. Look at that. Ooh, yeah. All right, I've got all the exhaust parts I need now. Now I'm gonna wait for my buddy with the Sawzall. While I do that, put on these hood struts because this thing needs it. They do not work at all. Okay, let's see here. Oh my God. You're almost there. Oh, you were so close. And these are very good hood struts. They're gonna make this hood open a lot better. I just gotta collapse it enough to get it on there. Look at that, and it's already holding itself up one side on. There you go. There's a bunch of crap under there, so it's not gonna shut. But yeah, actually have a hood open now. Imagine that. So to show how, many cars this is gonna be, I've always kind of liked when a car has a million different colored parts on it. It always shows me that, hey, that person's making that thing stay alive no matter any means necessary. And I do have a matching set of yellow lights over there on the parts Firebird, but the other Firebird also came with 2 pre-uninstalled headlight brackets that are brown. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take one of those, I'm gonna plug it in, I'm gonna see if it works. If it does work, I'm gonna install it on one of these sides because it's already uninstalled. Then, if that works and everything like that is all good, we'll move over to the other side, pull that headlight bucket off of it, and take one of the headlight buckets off the yellow Firebird and install it on this. Because you know what? I like that little yellow Firebird. We don't have any parts on this thing from that car yet, so we might as well have something. I know for a fact these headlights are junk because there's water in them, but maybe the motors are good. Well, I can tell you right now, their gearbox isn't stripped out. It is going down, so this is going to be one of them. All right, let's move it over there to that car, install it on the red Firebird. All right, so I'm gonna do a little voiceover here explaining what's happening. So I originally thought that I'd be able to just swap the headlight buckets over and they wouldn't be that difficult to take apart. Well, I lied. They are extremely difficult to pull out of that thing. You have to pull the whole front bumper off of it. I'm not doing that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull the motors off of the headlight brackets. I originally thought that one of the motors I was going to be able to pull off of the headlights that came with the blue Trans Am, but the ones that came with the blue Trans Am are earlier style. They were 3-pin. The ones on this on the red Firebird and the yellow Firebird, they're 2-pin. So what I ended up doing is I just ended up pulling the cover, the brown cover off the top of it because they were the same, putting it on the passenger side headlight to give me a reminder of the car that did give up its parts to keep my red one on the road. Then I went and pulled both of the left and the right side light motors off of the yellow car along with its driver's side headlight cover to give it, like I said, the same thing with the brown one, to give me a reminder of the cars that I have pulled off the road to keep my red one going. I also pulled the best headlights out of the bunch. Some of them had water in them. Even though they still worked, I don't imagine they would have worked much longer with all the water in them. So that's the game plan now. So we're pulling... All right, so to recap, we're going to pull both the headlight motors off of the yellow car because they both do work, put them on the red car, and then we're going to take some of the trim parts and stuff like that off of the headlights of the blue car and the yellow car and put it on the red car to have a little remembrance of the cars that gave up their parts to keep mine on the road. All right, there we go. There we go. It's a little bit less noticeable. I mean, it's still very noticeable, don't get me wrong, but it's less noticeable than it was. I'll shut them off. God damn you. What? It didn't do it. Can I shut it off? Why? What's wrong with you? You might need one. Right, so the phone died whenever I was going to explain everything. So, what happened? Took all this crap off, took the headlight motors and everything out, after realizing that we can't just pull the assemblies and everything, they're too difficult to get to. Had to go over there to that one. A few of the bolts right here, they just spun, so I had to bend that thing out of the way. Got the motors off that car, plugged them into here, realized that this side wasn't getting any power, so I ran wire from this side over to that side to boost it, and now they both work. Did all that, assembled it, we're good. That side works great. I did have to switch the arm because the nut that holds the thing to the headlight, the motor, snapped off, so I took the arm off of one of the broken motors. Did that, that side works great. Went over to here, it was working good, but it would randomly not work. The headlight plug was all corroded, so I cut one out of the parts cars over here, wired it in there, now it works. Now we've got headlights. Now they both go up, they both go down, they're both aimed, semi-good. So now I'm gonna reassemble all of this, then I'm gonna go work on the thing that inspired all of this, the damn exhaust leak, which I'm hoping should be the easiest part of all this, because it's really easy to get to. I've got the parts for it. It shouldn't be that difficult. I'm gonna eat those words, I already know I am.
First thing we find is a skeleton on the ground, and it's far from the only one in here. It looks like raiders made it inside the vault, but they didn't make it very far. Blood is splattered across the computers here at the entrance. At first I thought the vault dwellers maybe fought off.
Look at... Oh, dude, the cat's still good. I can actually bring that to a junkyard and get some money for it. It's not even that plugged. Embarrassed?
Yeah, I would like beep beep. I'd be like, no! You killed my man.
Yeah, they would have started laughing at you.
They would have.
Oh my god. Okay, let me tighten this back one. And it might be exhaust time. It's always I don't hear it right here. Yeah, so it works. Oh, look at that. Oh! Oh, wait. I have a really great upgrade I need to do real quick. I got custom upholstery right here. Because this cushion was here when I got it.
I know.
And
I remember the day it came out.
Yeah, I've taken it. Ooh, wait.
Yeah!
Put it back. It's like it never happened.
Dude. Actually, won't
Yeah, it's
feel
not
too
bad. I know I've done it before. That's why I bought the cheapos.
And Looking at it doesn't look too bad.
Yeah, that's
either.
why I bought the black one, because it's at a this whole car right now I'm just doing at a glance. It looks better, like the fender, the rims. All right, it's a couple days later. I had to film something else to get a video out, and well, we have headlights. They are a little bit misaligned. They don't exactly fit with the hood a little bit. They need to kind of be moved around, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. They work, and that's all I needed at the moment, so we can move on to something else. And that something else is going to be involving ripping apart even more of that yellow Firebird over there. Now, another big thing with this car, well, it's not really a big thing, but it is a thing I have to fix, is the speedometer doesn't work. And what sucks about this is because that's a V8 car, that's a V8 car, this is a V6 car, I can't just pull the whole gauge cluster and everything out of it, because all of this is one big old piece of circuit boards and stuff like that back there. The tach would not read right. They have a different tach entirely. They wouldn't read right because it's a V6 car, not a V8 car. That car over there has 140 mile per hour speedometer, and this one and the yellow one over there have 120. And I do believe that one over there worked in the yellow car. Whenever I took it for a drive, I'll have to look back at a video real quick. But the problem is, I'm pretty sure it is in this main gauge right here, because if I try to reset the trip, nothing happens. It feels very crunchy. So this gauge itself, I'm pretty sure is junk. So I'm hoping that when I pull this apart, I can disassemble it. What's going to happen is we're going to go over to that yellow car. We're going to pull that gauge cluster out of there, and then I'm going to put it on a bench and see what I can do, because if I can't pull it apart, there's no sense in me ripping apart this stash to fix it if I can't fix it. And that thing will be a good test bed, because like I said, everything else in the stash does work, and I do sort of have a speedometer with my tach. You know, I know that right around 3,000 RPM and fifth is 80 miles an hour. So without me rambling along anymore, let's go over to that yellow car. Let's rip the dash out and see what we can figure out. All right, and not even recording. All right, and what all this is going to entail, I have no idea. Much of the things in my life, like a lot of the things in my life, I'm just kind of winging it. So let's go in here. Let's just take a look at what tools I'm going to need to pull all this crap out of here. Oh my God, there's even more rat poop. I think I've ever had a vehicle that I've had to drop the steering column to get to the damn gauge cluster. I've had plenty of vehicles I needed to mess with the gauge cluster on. Yes, let go. Yes. Oh my goodness. Oh, was that difficult? Whenever you are doing this, be careful. This stuff is pretty thin, especially when it gets old like this. It's going to be brittle. Just do your best not to hurt it. If you give it a few rips here and there, it's not going to be the end of the world. Just try your best not to. This is how your dash communicates, so you do want it to communicate correctly. This thing should, now that I got the screws off the back, yeah, literally just lift right up out of there. That's exactly what I wanted to see. And you see right here, here's my tach. It'll lift up out of there, all my other gauge clusters, all that crap. So this right here is a good sign. What I'm gonna do now is we're gonna do the same thing that we just did to the red car, and then we're gonna take it apart and make sure that these both look the same. They both say 120 mile per hour, obviously they do. 1,001 rev per point, or per 1 mile. I don't know exactly what that means, but you can see right here, here's all the design specs and everything. What we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna pull that other one apart. We're just gonna compare them, make sure they look the same, make sure all these contacts are the same, make sure they're not, you know, way different or anything like that where it's not gonna work. So there we go. Can I see how it broke? Yeah, it looks like it should work, but it definitely doesn't. So what happened is I did fully reassemble this dash and everything like that, and I backed it up and drove it forward and everything like that, and it's still not reading right. Sadly, the looks like the gauge cluster, even though I confirmed it was broken, the trip wouldn't reset, and the odometer looked like it had a broken gear or something in there. It still did not work. I did get the all the bulbs and everything like that working. There were a few burnt out that I replaced, so it looks good now, even if it doesn't work. Sadly, I think there was either a chewed wire or the VSS, the vehicle speed sensor inside my transmission is bad. So I'm going to dig into that a little bit later, but at least now I know for sure it's not the speedometer, which I had on hand and I didn't have to spend money to fix. Now I'm going to throw all the other interior bits I had laying around together. I pulled a few off of the blue Trans Am, you know, interior trunk release, fog light buttons, all that stuff. I had this thing all the way pulled apart anyways. I figured I might as well throw some upgrades on it, even if I did pull off some really nice parts from a Trans Am to fix my little V6 car. It made me happy, so cry about it, purists. All right, so the dash and gauge cluster and everything is looking pretty neat. It's smoothed up. The gauge cluster is reading a little bit higher than what it used to, but it actually does reset to 0 now, even if it doesn't work. I did put the Trans Am fog lights and electronic rear hatch release over there. On this thing, I had the thing out along with the gauge cluster panels for if I ever want to put, you know, manual gauges on this thing. But the climate controls has kind of been hit and miss in this car. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, sometimes they just hiss. These things are vacuum controlled, at least the blend door up top is. And switch over here is electric, but this over here, I'm pretty sure it's got a sticky valve in there. So we're just gonna pull this thing out. I know for a fact the one on the yellow car did work. I tested that and it blew a rat's nest all over my face. So I know that one does work. So we're gonna pull that thing out of there, switch it over to this one. Then we're gonna clean up the interior of this car and do the taillights. And I think that'll be about it for this video. I've done a lot to this car. Jesus. Man, why do they just make every single one of these like a factory tow point or something? God damn. Pulled the damn car out of a ditch by the climate control wiring, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, it is safe to say that she's being as defiant. Praying to God that she sues the cops arresting her and refusing to speak up. It also reported of being abusive and trying to end their lives on a business trip because she found out who it was. So, obviously, there were a lot of things going on here in Jalen's personal life that could have helped led to her having this.
Is it still not blowing out? Here, it's just doing defrost. So I'm guessing there's a bad blend door or something underneath the dash. I mean, it's fine enough for now. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. Yeah, I've got air blowing down here and I've got air blowing up here. And if I move it to heat, it does blow it through the heater core and I can feel heat coming out. So I've got heat for if it gets cold for defrost, and I've got cold, so that works fine enough for me. That's better than the old one was. The old one would not do hot or cold. It was just always hot. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to button up a few things. I'm going to clean out the interior here. I mean, as I've told you guys, this has been my daily driver for the past week. So I have a bunch of crap in here. I'm going to clean out all the trash, all the random parts. And then we'll move on to the taillights because that is going to be a really, really nice upgrade for this car. All right, and even though it wasn't plug and play, it was pretty darn close. I'll show a little short I made so that way anybody doing this knows exactly how I did it. All right, in this video, I'm gonna show you guys how to go from formula style taillights on my 1989 Firebird to 85 through 90 Trans Am style. First thing you're gonna need, obviously, is the taillight housings themselves. You can find these from eBay or Junkyard or wherever you wanna find them, you'll need them. Now, those taillights are wired a little bit differently than factory Trans Am ones. So you're either gonna need a donor car or you're gonna need one of these 3-wire twist-in bulb style connectors, one for each side. Lord forgive me for what I'm gonna do to this Trans Am. All right, now as you guys can see right here, let me show you guys the differences on these lights. Your formula lights right here are gonna have 1, 2, 3 circular plugs, a weird looking turn signal one, and then 2 top running lights. On your Trans Am, they're just gonna have 4 little circular plugs, and you're gonna have to do some wiring. Let me show you guys how to do that. All right, thankfully, for your reverse light, it's literally gonna be plug and play. You slap that thing right in there. For your other 2 lights, the blue ones, you're just gonna pop those things right in there. These are both running lights and tail lights. They do not need to be messed with. The only thing you're gonna have to mess with is your turn signal lights and then a couple of those little running lights on the top. Now, this right here is not a factory Trans Am taillight wiring harness. For one of those, all 3 of these should flash whenever you turn on the blinkers, but to do that, you have to do basically a whole wiring harness and put in a heavy-duty relay. I don't wanna do that. I wanna do this the quick, easy, and dirt cheap way of doing it. So what you want to do is you want to take your turn signal light, you want to cut that. On this thing, there's going to be your green wire is going to be positive, your black wire is going to be negative. And then you're going to want to take one of your running lights. Same thing here. One of these is going to be positive, one of these is going to be negative. Mine's really dirty. They're both black. They're both all worn out. So you're going to have to take out your multimeter, figure out which one of these is positive and which one of these is negative. Then with your donor bulb, it's super, super simple. On this, 2 of these are positive, 1 of them is negative. What you do is you take the negative from your turn signal, the negative from your running light, hook those together, I'll then hook the negative from this light into that, just like that. So you'll have 3 negatives running into each other. Then for your other 2 wires, you run one of them to your turn signal positive and one of them to your light positive. Then like this, you can see right here, one of these is burning whenever I have the headlights on, and then the other one is burning for the flasher. And you guys can see right in here, I've got the green wire for this one running to the green wire for the turn signal. I've got the other positive wire running to the positive wire for the running light. And then on the back, I have all 3 of the grounds hooked together. This way, you're gonna have turn signals. It may only be this bulb out here, but you're gonna have running lights, you're gonna have brake lights, you're gonna have turn signals, and you're not gonna have to do any heavy duty flasher, rewiring, anything like that. This thing is super, super easy to pull off. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend these wires. You have to a little bit to get them to get to this far outer bulb here. And then I will clean it up, throw it back together, and we'll do a before and after. All right, and look at that. It looks so much better than it did before. It is not perfect. Like I said, it's not a factory Trans Am where all 3 of these lights light up for your turn signal, but it looks so much better, and it is way less work than wiring in a whole factory taillight harness and heavy-duty flashers and everything like that. This is a quick and easy way to make these taillights look good on your car because they look so much better than the original ones, in my opinion. I hope this video helped you if you wanted to do this swap. Do it in a weekend. You'll love it. This thing looks so much better from the rear now. And you guys can see it wasn't exactly plug and play, but it wasn't a whole lot of wiring that had to go into it. So it's not too difficult of a swap if you really want to do it. And I mean, if you do want to do it, do it. The rear end of this car looks so much better with it. Me and my buddy took his truck and my Firebird out to a park, and we're having a little bit of a grill out. So I'm going to film a quick outro here, then I'm going to go and eat some hot dogs. All right, and just like that, I have a perfectly cromulent daily driver again. Granted, it doesn't exactly meet all the criteria of a perfect daily driver. The alternator is still acting up sometimes. I got to dig into that. I'm pretty sure it's just a corroded main positive battery terminal, so I'll just replace that. It does have a taillight burnt out, and the speedometer still doesn't work, but it's a lot better than what it was. It has the exhaust fix, it has good taillight or headlights on it, it has cool looking taillights on it, and it runs and drives just fine. Now, without me rambling along anymore, like I said, I'm gonna go get some hot dogs. So I'm just gonna end this thing here. This was Josh Marisco's Wrenches fixing up my 1989 Pontiac Firebird and making it an even better daily driver. If you guys like this type of stuff or like this car in particular, I do a bunch of car stuff here on the channel. I actually rescued this thing about a month and a half ago from a field where it sat since about 2017, 2018. So if you guys like that video, look in my channel. There's a bunch of videos with this car in particular or a bunch of other stuff that I work on. While you're down there looking through videos and stuff like that, if you wouldn't mind, leave me a comment letting me know what I did right, what I did wrong. If you like these taillights, if you hate these taillights, whatever it is, let me know down in the comments below. Any interaction greatly helps this small channel thrive. Same thing with a like or a dislike. If you like it, if you like it, like it, dislike it, if you dislike it, any interaction really does help. And I'm going to sign it off here. Like I said, this was Josh from Marisco's Wrenches, fixing up my old Pontiac Firebird. Hope you guys are having a good day, night, week, whatever it is. I hope you guys are having a great one, and hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace out and goodbye. Want to be the guy that, you know, filmed random children without their consent. That'd probably put me on a watch list somewhere. Yeah, that rear end's not really on there anymore.
Mr. nicknames his private member Lazarus because he has risen from